Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon, but this is going to premiere on the 27th. I don't know which time, like 3 or 4, somewhere around then. 3:30, something like that. So, this is for the best songs of 2022. This is for part 1, of course, that I'm going to start with. I might have to get to scheduling other ones at a certain time during another one an hour later, and then another one an hour later, and another one an hour later. So there's going to be days where I'll do it, but I got to get it all done by the 27th, of course. So I'm going to discuss from 60 to whatever number I get to, because there's 60 songs that are the best songs this year, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this Best Songs of 2022 Part 1 video. Now, number 60 is Against the Current with Wildfire. Now, I really enjoyed Chris Chrissy Costanza, or however her name is. Uh, Her vocals are pretty good in this track. Really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed their EP Fever last year, which was really enjoyable. There was like Weapon that was my favorite, and some other tracks as well that were pretty good. So mostly Weapon was my favorite one, but still, Against the Current Wildfire was a great single that came out earlier this year back in January, and I highly recommend you check it out. It was the kind of the second or third song to come out for the start of this year. So at number 60 is Against the Current with Wildfire. Drum work, it's great. Guitar work, it's great. And Chrissy Costanza's singing in it is amazing. And there's other songs that have featured artists as well. So, yeah. Number 59 is Termina with Translucent. Andy's screaming vocals in this track and his clean sings through some of the chorus sound really good. This is a song I haven't really come back to be honest, but I did enjoy it. I remember enjoying this track, but I decided to put it at the upper part of the list because there's some songs at the upper part from 60 to 50 that are songs I come back to, but sometimes don't come back to too much, and I know what I listen to, and I'm like, okay, this will make my best songs, but still. Termina Translucent's Nick Nocturnal's band. He's a YouTuber on YouTube that does reactions and guitar videos as well. So it's pretty cool what he does. He plays guitar and he's pretty good at it. So really like his videos too and his reaction videos. So definitely a song I wanted to put on my end of the year list. So at number 59 is Termina with Translucent. Number 58 is Halsey with So Good. Now, this was a pop song pretty much, but Halsey's getting better and better as the years go on with her music. Her music is getting much better as of now. Her Manic album was pretty enjoyable. There were a few songs I wasn't sure if I was on board with, but other than that, the album was pretty decent and sort of strong. And If I Can't Have Power, I Want Love, or whatever that album was called. It was her album in 2021 with I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God song in it. Um, Pretty much, that was a pretty average album. There were some songs that were hits and misses, but her songs have gotten better as it goes on. This was one of my personal favorites this year. This would have been at a lower list, but I haven't really returned to the song too much. But I did enjoy it and remembered enjoying it. So at number 58 is Halsey with So Good. Number 57 is Silver Sun Pickups with Scared Together. Now, this is off their new album Physical Thrills that came out back in August, mid August or whatever, or close to late August. So it pretty much was a interesting album, or at least a good album. I can't remember what I rated it, to be honest, but I remember liking it. So, yeah, Scared Together was a pretty enjoyable single, and Alone on a Hill was another one, but I don't know if it made this list, of course, but it was enjoyable. Still, Scared Together had to make it on my best songs because I did enjoy the wow, wow, wow There is some electronic work and a voice box kind of thing that the keyboardist does, and it's pretty interesting. So, and Brian sounds pretty good vocally in this track. So at number 57 is Silver Sun Pickups with Scared Together. I did like the drum work in this track too as well. Number 56 is Papa Roach with Cut the Line. This was a really good song. I really enjoyed this off the Ego Trip album. Even though Ego Trip wasn't the best album this year, it still was meh. It's in the okay to meh albums that's going to be coming out on December 4th, so definitely tune into that video. But basically, this was a pretty enjoyable track. I really enjoyed the drum work, and Jacoby Shaddix's vocals is pretty strong in this track, so at number 56 is Papa Roach with Cut the Line. Number 55 is From Ashes to New with Until We Break featuring Matty Mullins. This was a pretty strong track. I know this is not the best song of the year, but it is one of the best songs this year that came out. It's on this list, of course, and it was pretty strong of a track. Pretty much, what's his name? Danny's vocals in it are pretty good, and Matty Mullins comes in with his clean sings in the second verse, and it sounds pretty strong. I was trying to think of the lead singer's name for From Ashes to New, the clean vocalist's name. And, well, actually, Danny does clean vocals and scream vocals, so it's a mixture, to be honest. I forgot to mention that. So, basically, the scream vocals in the bridge are pretty good. So, I really enjoyed this song. Even though I have my critiques about From Ashes to New sounding like Linkin Park, they still pulled off a pretty good song. So at number 55 is From Ashes to New with Until We Break featuring Matty Mullins. Number 54 is Ghost Call Me Little Sunshine. Sorry if I'm slurring with my wording. Ghost Call Me Little Sunshine. Pretty good song. Really enjoyed this from the Impera album that came out earlier this year, back in March. And I really enjoyed this as a single. And this was a pretty strong single, even though it was weird of a track with the melody, but it worked. And Tobias Forge sounds pretty good vocally in this track, so really enjoying this. Really did enjoy this song this year. So at number 54 is Ghost with Call Me Little Sunshine. Number 53 is Hollywood Undead with City of the Dead. Even though I didn't like Hotel California too much, it was an okay album. There still were some strong tracks, like this one and Chaos. But still, you're going to be seeing Chaos in one of my other videos, of course, on the best songs of 2022, because it did make the cut, of course. But basically, really enjoyed this track. It was pretty catchy. Drum work was great. Guitar work was pretty good. J-Dog was singing pretty strong in this track. And I think Johnny Three Tears was rapping in this track or singing along or something like that. I can't remember, but basically this was a pretty strong track. So at number 53 is Hollywood Undead with City of the Dead. Number 52 is Fozzy with Purifier. Even though this is not Song of the Year, it still is in the best songs because I did enjoy this track. And also, Ugly on the Inside has grown on me a lot more from the Boombox album. And the Relax song it was something. So, yeah, there were some strong tracks on the Boombox album by Fozzy. Even though it wasn't my favorite album, it still was interesting of a listen. So, number 52 was Fozzy with Purifier. I enjoyed the guitar riffs. Chris Jericho singing in it is pretty strong, and just the execution of the track did very well, in my opinion. So, yeah. Number 51 is Saint Asonia with Above It All. This is one of the best songs I heard this year off their new Introvert EP. And the Introvert and Extrovert is like combined together in an album now, which did come out last Friday, I should say, the 18th, which was a pretty interesting listen for Saint Asonia EPs. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this track, Adam Gontier sounds really good. His vocals are great in this track, and just the music video wasn't my favorite music video, but it was something at least. So number 51 is Saint Asonia with Above It All. I did enjoy it guitar wise because it had a good guitar solo at the bridge part. So yeah. And number 50 is Kid Cudi with Stars in the Sky. This became one of my favorite songs of this year because I know it's electronic-y and has some R&B rap stuff with Kid Cudi. He makes iffy music some of the time, depending on the person that listens to them. But this was a great theme song for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, which I really enjoyed this track. When he comes in with the chorus, it just gives me goosebumps. I'm like, and good goosebumps because I really enjoyed that chorus. I'm like, ooh, this is just really good. So, really enjoyed this song. It put a smile on my face this year. So, really enjoyed this track. So, at number 50 is Kid Cudi with Stars in the Sky. Number 49 is Korn with Forgotten. This was a pretty strong track. Really enjoyed it. It's the first song off the Requiem album that came out back in February this year, and I personally really liked it. So, it took a little bit for the song to grow on me, but Jonathan Davis's vocals in it are pretty strong. So I haven't really returned to this track too much. It was just like a remember this track and oh, this was a pretty good song, and then you kind of forget about it as the year goes on, to be honest. But it was a pretty good song. So at number 49 is Korn with Forgotten. Number 48 is Spirit Box with Hysteria. Now, this is the last song on the Rotoscope EP that came out back in late June this year. And this was a pretty good song. I like Courtney LaPlante's screaming vocals at the end of the track, getting ready to close the track. It does pretty well, in my opinion. And just her clean vocals are great in this song, to be honest. So, really enjoyed this. And I enjoyed the EP as well. Even though Sew Me Up wasn't my favorite, I still enjoyed the EP for what it went for. So, at number 48 is Spirit Box with Hysteria. Number 47 is Bad Omens with Like a Villain. This was a really good track. I know The Gray was another great track and should be on my best songs, but this one actually did make my best songs because I really enjoyed how Noah Sebastian was singing the track. This was more melodic and did have some scream moments, and it's a more melodic rock track, but it did pretty well for the execution. So, a number 47 is Bad Omens with Like a Villain. I really enjoyed this track this year off the new The Death of Peace of Mind album. So definitely go check out my track review for Like a Villain I did back in mid to late January. So I think you'll enjoy it. Number 46 is Ozzy Osbourne with Patient Number 9 featuring Jeff Beck. Great song. Really enjoyed that Ozzy made another album titled Patient Number 9 that came out on September 9th this year. And it was pretty enjoyable. So, really enjoyed this track. The song is about someone being in a mental institution and going crazy and all that. And feeling loneliness too as they stand in their isolated room or whatever, or sit in their isolated room. It's pretty sad and dark, but it's still a really enjoyable track guitar wise, and Ozzy's vocals is amazing in this track, even though I know he's not doing good, which thoughts and prayers go out to him. Because he did put out a really good album this year, in my personal opinion. So, number 46 is Ozzy Osbourne with Patient Number 9 featuring Jeff Beck. Number 45 is As It Is, I Want to See God. Now, I was surprised with this album from As It Is called I Went to Hell and Back. Even though it wasn't my personal best album this year, it still surprised me. I was like seeing the eye tracks, and I was worried for that album at first because it had so many eyes in as titles of the songs. But personally, for me, I think the album did good in its own way. So it was a good album. So I did enjoy Patty's screams in it. I believe his name's Patty Walters, if I remember correctly. You'll have to remind me in the comment section below, but basically, great song overall, and the execution to this track did very well with the I don't see the light lyric and all that. It's very catchy when the chorus kicks in. So, at number 45 is As It Is with I Want to See God. Number 44 is Currents with The Death We Seek. Now, this was a really good track from them. I know the clean vocals kind of dragged the rating down a bit that I put on the best songs, but it's still one of the best songs this year. And the new song is going to make it at my lower list, of course. But you'll be surprised which number it is at. And you'll probably like my picks towards the end of this video. So basically, Currents did a very good job on this new single that came out back in late August. I really enjoyed this track and the execution for the delivery of the song with the melody, the drum work, the guitar work is amazing, and Brian's screams are amazing in this track, in my opinion, along with the clean vocalist backing him up in this track. So, pretty much enjoyed this song. So, I wasn't disappointed with the execution of the song. So, at number 44 is Currents with The Death We Seek. Number 43, and this might have to be my last one I'll mention, is Masked Wolf featuring Bring Me the Horizon Fallout. Now, this was a really good track. I personally enjoyed this song. Even though there is some mixing slight hiccups with the song, this did perform very well as Ollie Sykes was singing in the track, and there was some weirdness in it, and he did some screams at the end of the track, which was pretty enjoyable. So really enjoyed this song this year, even though Masked Wolf was doing more of the rapping in this track. I still think Ollie brought his best performance in the song, in my opinion. So at number 43 is Masked Wolf featuring Bring Me the Horizon with Fallout. I'll mention one more and then I'm going to end the video. I thought I was going to end it right now, but I will end it in a moment. Number 42 is Red Handed Denial with Father Said. Now, this is a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed Lauren Babbitt's scream vocals in this song, and her clean vocals are great in this track. This is off their new album. Can't remember the album's name. I'd Rather Be Asleep, I think is what it's called. And that was a pretty enjoyable album this year. So I really enjoyed that album. So number 42 is Red Handed Denial with Father Said. There were some melodic moments in the track, but it still did very well with Lauren Babbitt singing in it. So that's going to be it for part 1 of Best Songs of 2022. I will have to return to you for part 2, which will be from 42 to whatever number I get to for the next one, for best songs, or 41 to whatever number I get to, I meant to say. So I almost got down to the lower 40s for the list, of course. So thank you guys for enjoying this first part of best songs of 2022. Part 1, I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Part 2 will be being recorded and premiered for you guys. This is premiering, of course, on the 27th at like 3:30 or so. So stay safe. Take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed this best songs of 2022 part 1 video, and as always, I will see you in my next review.